Welcome to another episode of That Crazy Triangle Guy. Here we are looking at the Bitcoin US dollar index on the 1 hour time frame. And I just noticed that we are making a big red candle there, and that is on the hourly. I did say that. And we are closing that hour in one minute. And it is also the 4 hour. So that should be interesting. What's I'm really noticing right now is that it's not coming down to the bottom of this parallel channel. It didn't come up to the top. However, it is coming down to this white line, which I was going to move live on this episode. However, if we close right on it, I might not want to move it. I really do want to move it though. So let's see what happens. Maybe we pull up a little bit in the next 20 seconds. Come on, pull up a little bit. Where are we at? 33.9, 53, 52. We need to go up another 100 points, really. So that's where I want to move the line to. Oh, that was it. That's where we closed. Well, we'll look at the 4 hours candle in a second. I want to stay here on the hourly because in the last video I showed that we were either from here going to go up where this green, I'll squish it together a little bit. We were going to either go up to this green line, which is the top of a parallel channel that I'll show you in a second, or we were going to go down to this white line, which was our 31.5 level of support and resistance that goes back a million years. And both these targets are measured moves from the beginning of this symmetrical triangle that we are trading in, formed by these two parallel channels that we are trading in. You can see that we are trading in this upward parallel channel here, come right down to it here, trade right along the center line of it here, come up to it here, come down to it here. We're currently bouncing on it, and we did not bounce on it here. We actually bounced on this yellow line here, which is potentially just one more parallel channel. However, that's not the one I have drawn here. I have drawn this one that goes like this, or this green one. It starts here and goes up there, comes down here, goes up there. And we can also see that we do trade right along the center line of this channel. Comes up here. Now, it hasn't come down here because it's being blocked by the bottom of this channel, nor has price action gone above the top of this, come up to the top of this channel because it's being blocked by the top of this channel. So, that's where we're at. We could go up, down, to completely reasonable targets, or simply continue sideways, because a lot of times what we'll do is we'll blast up here, blast down there, and simply expand the triangle out and continue to go sideways up until the FOMC meeting, which is marked by this lavender vertical line. I highly doubt that is an option. I really, really do, because this is not a big deal FOMC meeting. It's typically what we've done in the past, because it's really questionable whether they're raising rates every week or not. we're at the point where it doesn't really matter if they raise it another 25% or not. They might in December. I don't think they will now. Um, and every other meeting is contains economic projections, and this is not one of those meetings. We just had that last meeting, and we'll have it at the December meeting. So I highly doubt we're going to spend the next 5 days or so going sideways to here. Now, let's move this white line, first of all, because it's a line that I drew a long time ago. It was kind of just a rough estimate, and it's really interesting, though, is that we came right down to it here. Um, and from today's price action, I can clearly see that it really belongs at about $34,042. Let's raise it up to that level. See if I have that right. We're on the 1 hour. No, let's move it down a little bit. Where do we want this damn line? You know what? Let me go on the 5 minute. 5 minute tells a little bit better where we want this line at. Let's see, 42. Well, that looks a little bit better anyway. Anyway, I'm moving it. I'm going to move it around that area. I won't bore you any more longer with this. Let's go back to the 1 hour, and I'm going to add another line. As soon as I can get back to where we were. All right, here we go. I'm going to add another line. I'm going to add this trend line back on the screen. I took it off because it was kind of making my triangle look funny. There's too many lines there. Now I'm adding it back on because you can clearly see that we are also trading about that trend line. We're even kind of just weaving in and out of it here. And you can see that price action is moving along it upwards, where we've come down to it here. See, notice how my green horizontal line, cursor line, as you go to the right, these closures are above it in heading upwards this way. This one right here is above it. They're angled upwards right along the same slope as that line. And what is that line? And why did we stop here? Why did we stop here? And actually, why does that blue line? Come on, God, I hate it when I hit the mouse pad thing. If I'm not far enough to the left, the stupid right menu comes up. I just realized I didn't plan this out, but I noticed that the blue line hits right there at the vertex of our symmetric triangle. Now, let's look at the date. That is Sunday. So we need to make a decision as far as this triangle goes by Sunday, which is really, really unusual. Um, so if we make a decision by Sunday, CME futures is closed, and there's a good chance we do form a gap. This is really, really interesting the more I analyze this. So anyway, what is this blue line that happens to go right through the vertex of our triangle, and price action seems to be traveling along it? First of all, let's look at the 4-hour and see what our 4-hour candles look like, since we just closed one. We're starting a new green one. Wow, this is crazy. These candles are funny looking. We got a hammer one here, a hammer one here. And then these two other, like, well, I don't know what you call those. Now we're forming a green one, but it's really interesting that this one did not come all the way down here, and it did stop at this yellow line. Very, very interesting. So in order to see what that blue line is, and I had forgotten about it till I looked at another chart that I had looked at in a while. So I switched to the daily time frame. We'll just do that. This blue line that we are currently trading about and goes through the vertex of our symmetric triangle is that old trend line that we fell through on 17th of August. 16th, 17th of August. Yeah, it was Thursday. I remember. This is when there was that planned dump, that coordinated dump, um, where they sucked up all your tokens down here. And it really actually started on Tuesday. And I verified this in another video, and it's a long story. But so that was our trend line that we fell through, and that we were holding as support since January, since since we started our move upwards from the FTX collapse. But this is not a real trend line. It it's skewed to the rest of our perfectly parallel lines that we've been trading about. So anyway, it's just really interesting that that's where we're at, and we're trying to hold above it. So we're trying to get back above that trend line, and I believe we will. Now, let me go to a different chart. It doesn't have so many lines on it. That trend line is now this yellow line, the only line that is not going in the same direction as all the other lines. All the other lines on this chart are perfectly parallel with one another. I mean, there's groups of them that are perfectly parallel with one another. And this chart describes Bitcoin price action for the entire life of Bitcoin. And I want you to tell me if you've seen this chart on any other platforms, because this is my chart that I made. I created it. I didn't get it from any other channel. I've seen Zombie recently have a similar chart, but everybody gets their lines wrong. All these channels should be perfectly parallel with one another. And you can see that Bitcoin traded. I can just, you know what, I'll turn the auto thing on and we will go through. You can see how price action trades perfectly. Even in the very beginning here, where it should be screwed up a little bit, and it is, still pretty much traded in these channels. And here, we hit right at the bottom, came up, and even held on to the center line all the way up to the top here. Back down to the bottom, came all the way up to the top, traded along the center line, And then, so that's our bull run. And then our bear market came down and traded entirely within that channel. Then we go sideways for a while. And look, okay, I want you to pay attention to these two channels where we go sideways for a while. This is Bitcoin's major trend line. The other ones are bull flags, these blue bull flags and green, I guess you could call them flag poles to some extent, and flags and sideways action in these two parallel channels. And we have another parabolic run, and it's mostly trading within the bottom portion of this bull channel. And then we have the flag in the blue. And then we have our sideways action here in these two channels. You can see it trading right there. And we break through the channel and right along the top of it. This is 2020, 2020, where price action was a step above everything else, except where we fell through for the COVID crash. But you can see how we even came, this is just a wick down here, and we came right back up to the center line, well, whatever that is right there. And then we rode right along the top of these channels. Here we are in our upwards. And then our last bear market bull flag, whatever. And now here we are going sideways in the bottom of the parallel channels. Here, Bitcoin has always traded right along these parallel channels and had bull runs and bull flag markets, bear market, bull flag things, whatever you want to call them. And now here we are. But are we just going to go straight up here? No, we are not necessarily. Not at this angle. We're going to form well, this one rides right along the top there. Let's go back here and see where this one goes. So see, I think we're gonna come up. We're gonna come up through this channel and through this channel. That's what I think we're gonna do. We're gonna come up here through this channel, and then we don't start our bull run. We don't start our bull run until we get over to this section over here. So I think we're going to come up sideways over to here. But that's besides the point. Or maybe that is the point. Anyway, we are right here. Now, the point I wanted to get to was whether we go up, down, or sideways from this point where my cursor is. That's where we are at. We are not at the top of this channel. But wouldn't it make sense that if we're trading in a parallel channel like this, where we've traded along the top of it, come down to the bottom of it, rode along the bottom, come back up here with one, this is a weekly chart, a second weekly candle, a third weekly candle up to the top of the channel, and then back down to the bottom, and then back up to the top, rode along the top of the channel, came back down to the center line, back up to the top of the channel, back down to the center line, plummeted down, to the bottom of the channel. Kind of rode, not, off the bottom of the channel a little bit, but in the same direction as this, at the same slope as the channel. And then we're coming back up into it. Why would we stop here and not go all the way to the top of the channel, which is at about $37,000? We're going to the top of this channel. Not only are we going to the top of this channel over the course of the next, I think possibly over this weekend and heading into next week, I think there's a good chance that tomorrow or before the weekend's up that we will be at the top of this channel and possibly breaking out above it as we did here in March and April, and as we traded here above it in June, summer, when we had that nice little rally, and then traded above it here. I've drawn this yellow line that catches the price action of these weekly candle bodies here, and these candle wicks and bodies here. So I think we do come up over the next. I think we keep going up here in a nice rally over the course of the next few months. I think we're going to have uh, a 4 month rally. So that would take us from here October to November to December to January. November, December, January, February. That's the halving right there. February, right about here to the center of this channel. Possibly even above. Anyway, that's getting way ahead of us. So, but currently in the next week or so, I don't think we're coming back down to 31.5. Of course, we could, because that would be the center line of the channel. But if we did that this week, we'd have this stupid long wick, and it just doesn't make sense. Maybe we do. Maybe we do have a stupid long wicking candle and a closure here, and then a big one the following week, next week. I don't think it doesn't make sense. I think we'd have a candle like this, a candle like this, a candle like this. Um, yeah, we need to keep this green candle intact. Do we come back down and come back up before Sunday? Maybe. Maybe. I don't know. I just don't know. I think there's a better argument for us coming up to the top of this channel. Maybe just trading right along this yellow line through Sunday, and then maybe Monday having another uh, candle up here. But something else I wanted to point out while I'm here, and that is this red candle here on Monday, October 10th. This is the bottom of the market. If you subtract this stupid little wick right here, so this bottom of the market is at about 18,200. This one was at about 17.7-ish. So if you subtract that stupid little wick, let's make it bigger. And this is because of the Terra Luna and Celsius and Voyager and all that other crap that went on. If you just took that out, this would be the bottom of the market right here on October 10th. And this little FTX thing also you need to take out as a black swan. This should not be here. This is the bottom, and we would be continuing up in this channel here. Now, what evidence do I have of that? Here's the Dow Jones. My cursor is on October 10th. Well, let me go on. Let me turn this guy on. Where's October 10th? Right there. The bottom of the market. Let's go to NASDAQ. October 10th, right there. Bottom of the market. This was June right here. They didn't have a Terra Luna and Celsius and Voyager and all that crap. And whatever else. I don't even remember all the things that were going on. So they only went down to here. This is the bottom of the market. Where was FTX? When FTX happened, they did have a little bit downward movement prior, but then a big candle upwards as we were crashing downwards. And the market continued up from here. And it's more clearly noticeable on the. Let's see if I can move it. I can't move it. I gotta go like that. Now move it. This is October 10th on the S&P. This is their June low. And yeah, they did have a red candle on the week before our red candle. So it's pretty obvious there that this was the bottom of the market here. Huh. When they had red candles, we had a green candle. We were moving upwards. I remember all this. We were actually moving upwards. And then this bullshit happened. So I was charting all this. We were ready to break out here. We were breaking out of triangles we had been forming in this area over here. All right, real quick because we're running out of time here. Got to look at expansion off the up extreme low volatility on the BBWP. This is the 2-day time frame for Bitcoin index, and clearly we've expanded on the 2-day, and we started that expansion right about back here, and you would have caught it if you believed it, as we had a lot of fake outs here. Now on the 5-day, that's not always the case, and I've argued this. Once expansion is confirmed on the 5-day, the move is already happening. And so the 5-day closes tonight in 15 hours. And if you're waiting for that confirmation, you just missed this move. So you got to act fast on the 2-day. You got to watch the 2-day for what's going to happen on the 5-day and the weekly as well. Let's see where the weekly's at. But I do expect the upward movement to continue here. Yeah, the weekly's at 18.25, and that'll get confirmed in 2 days. See, this is just here. It was still at something or other. It was still extremely low here. So it's just expanding this week. If you wait for the confirmation, you miss this whole entire move. But if you go to the 2-week, where are we at there? 2-week is still at 3.57. So I expect this move to continue. This move still has some oomph behind it. So it's not just the 2 week, but also like the monthly. All these were at extreme lows. And when you on the monthly, we've only been this low one, two, three. It's our third time. Back here where we did get low, we did not get this low on the monthly. And the other two times we had this drop in June with the Terra Luna collapse and all that other crap that went on. And the other time was right here on the bull run, the parabolic bull run in 2020, um, September, starting October 2020. I don't think that's what's going to happen here, but I do think we're going to have a nice run over the next 4 months. All right, I think my time's expired. I will see you next time. You don't have to like, but so I hate hitting the like button. But subscribe, share this with a friend, and see you next time. I stop.